Hello everyone, welcome to Commercial Farming with the Dirt Road Farmer. How's everybody today? Well, I hope everybody's doing just fantastic. Uh, we're going to do something just a little bit different today. This is going to be a video, mainly tutorial video. I have shown many times how I set my harvesters up with Courseplay. But today, what we're going to get into is your game settings on Courseplay. Alright, now you can look and watch all the videos that you want on how to set these harvesters up, but the settings for your vehicle and game settings, if you don't have them set accordingly, yeah, that can make your day less productive, should I say. So this is just going to be a short video, and we are going to bring up the HUD and we're going to go through that. Now these are just my game settings. Now I will say that they work for me, and I run 5 harvesters, probably more than I run one harvester. I'm always running multiple harvesters. So keep that in mind. And like I said, I really want to stress the fact that this is just my game settings. So if you want to grab a pencil and paper real quick, so that you can take notes, or you can watch the video over and over again if you want. That's entirely up to you. But I'm just trying to help where help may be needed, where maybe you've watched these videos and you're still not able to get what you want to do done. So as I have said many times, I will be the first to help anybody that needs help. And that's just the way it is. Alright, so let's bring the HUD up. Alright. Alright, now what we're going to be looking at over here, if you can follow my cursor, over here, we basically have 3 different icons, or 4 different icons over here that we will use whenever we set Courseplay up. Okay, of course, this one I call it waypoints, and that, of course, is where you go in and you put, your field that you're working in. And then in this particular case, field 1-1, you'd come over. What do you want to do in field 1-1? This is where you save the course that you created. Okay, is everybody with me there? All right. If you go up to this steering wheel, this is where you actually create the course, which is what we've done here. We created this course for the harvesters to run. They're going to run this course. All right. Now, those are the 2 that I mainly use all the time. And the reason for that is because these 2 down here very rarely ever change for me. Once you have them set, leave it alone. All right, so Now this is Courseplay game settings. Alright, so we're going to go through these one at a time. Courseplay driver wages. I don't pay them anything. You can pay them whatever you want to pay them. But believe me, they get paid enough through the vehicle running costs and everything. Yeah. So I usually set that at 0. Automatic repair, you want to set that on keep it healthy. I mean, unless, I'm not saying, now again, I have to say, these are my settings. You know, you may choose to do different things. But I keep mine on keep it healthy. That way, right out there in the middle of a field, as we done in the last video, I don't have a harvester going down because it needs to be repaired. No. I want the driver to keep it healthy. Okay? Fuel threshold, 5%. Yeah, it gives them 5% leeway on the fuel, but for the most part, they keep the vehicle full of fuel. Again, I do not want to be out there in the middle of a 5,000 acre field trying to get it harvested, and all of a sudden I've got a harvester that went down, needs fuel. He stops, everybody else crashes into him. No. 5% leeway, and they basically keep it fueled that way. Broken threshold, I really don't know exactly what that means. Okay, it says driver will be released if the vehicle or implement is more broken, 100% is off. Okay, so that goes along with everything else. If you don't have them keep it healthy and it gets below 50%, a driver's just going to walk off and leave it if you don't, So I keep this at 50%. Stop harvesters while it's raining. That I activate. Now you can harvest while it's raining, but you're going to take a serious hit on your harvest. In other words, it's not going to bode well for your pocketbook, let's put it that way, because you're going to lose a lot of harvest if you try to harvest when it's raining. So I have that activated. AI helper fruit destruction. I always run with that deactivated because sometimes, AI workers are AI workers and Courseplay workers are Courseplay workers, and they will run into the crop sometimes. Not very often, but it does happen, and I don't want them destroying the crop, so I keep that deactivated. Expert mode. This you want to activate. Excuse me, I'm sorry. This you want to activate. By activating that, you bring up a whole lot more options. Okay? Options that need to be set. So make sure your expert mode is activated. Gamepad friendly HUD. Deactivate. Alright. Over here it says use the HUD, which can be controlled with a gamepad. Now, if you are working with Courseplay, obviously you're working with a PC, so you don't need this gamepad. Gamepad friendly HUD, deactivate it. Alright. Now, show all active courses. I don't need to show all the active courses, So I deactivate that. Show courses on the mini map. Activate that. That mini map is the map that you bring up when you're setting your harvesters up, or tools, whatever you're setting up. Action event help. I deactivate that. That's just me. Like I said, these are just my settings. You may want to play around with it and see what you prefer. That's entirely up to you, and that's great. Show info text in window. I activate that. Now, why do I do that? If you watched yesterday's video on harvesting 2,500 acres, we had never harvested that field before. And lo and behold, there was a sinkhole in that field, and a harvester dropped a wheel off in that sinkhole. Well, it just happened to be the #1 harvester that did that, so he's got 4 more harvesters coming at him, and he can't get out of the sinkhole. I get up here in the corner, I get a text saying blockage. So I had to go find out what happened. And that is how I stay on top of anything that may happen, to those harvesters. That way I can go and correct it. Player mouse event, I activate that because I use my mouse to do several different things, so I activate that. Prefer custom fields? No, I deactivate that. Just deactivate it. Distance unit, myself. I'm here in the United States, and I prefer feet. Distance unit as foot, so that's the way I set mine up. Pathfinder settings. Now this is something that you probably just want to leave alone for right now until you get more experience with running Courseplay, and you think you've got it all going, and it is going real good, and then you say, well, I think I'm going to go out down there and I'm going to try something different. And that is great if that's what you want to do. But my settings are on 45 for the angle difference at goal, and delta angle relax factors 10. I just leave them alone. All right, now we're going to go over, if you follow my cursor, to the vehicle that you're in. Now I want you to keep in mind, Courseplay will do several different things. I mean, it's absolutely an amazing, an extraordinary mod. Probably one of the smartest mods that we've ever had on game. It is absolutely fantastic. However, it's like they say, well, computers don't lie. Well, no, they do not. But a computer is only as smart as the programmer that put the information into it. So, and I'm not making fun of anybody. I don't mean for it to come across like that. But in order to make Courseplay do what you want it to do, you have to program it the way you want it to work. All right, so we're going to go into the vehicle settings. All right, show course. I put this on start and stop only, because if you don't, then you're going to get a bunch of these red lines running up and down your field while you're trying to work, and that's the actual course that it's running. I put mine on start and stop only. That way it'll show where you start, where the course is going to start, and it'll also show where it's going to stop. Okay? Open HUD with mouse. Yes, activate that. Absolutely. Because whenever I tell you it's right click to bring the small HUD up, that's what you're doing. You're opening the HUD with the mouse. Activate it. Save fuel. Activate it. Hey, I'm up for saving cost everywhere. Yeah, yeah, definitely. We're going to save in fuel, so activate that. Only turning on the field. All right, now this is one that, depending on the circumstances, if you're harvesting a field and you've got trees all around the field, at the ends of the field, and you can't get a harvester off the field to turn around, then yes, you better activate that. With me on these commercial fields, commercial farming, I've got all the room in the world. I don't need for that vehicle, which in this case would be a harvester, but it could be a tractor and plow, it could be anything. There's no room, once you get off that field, there's no room to turn that vehicle around. So you need for him to stay on the field. Like I said, in my particular case, I've got all the room in the world for him to turn around off the field. So I deactivate it. All right. Avoid driving fruit. That's kind of self-speaking. We don't want them driving in the fruit. You know, stay off the crop. So I deactivate it. Allow reverse for pathfinding. I've got that deactivated. That's just me. I don't need the pathfinding. No, I deactivate that. Allow using the pathfinder in turns. I've got that deactivated. Don't need that. All right, tool settings. Fold tools at the end of the course. I've got that deactivated. And all that is whenever the course has been completed, say you're harvesting, when the harvesters get down to the end, the quitting point, stop point, they're going to stop and just fold everything up. No, I deactivate that. I can do that myself. Okay? And that, again, is just my preferred setting. Return to the starting point. No, I don't need you to return to where you started from. I don't need that. If I want to move you, I'll move you. So I, personally, this is my setting, I deactivate it. Now, here's two of them right here that are important. Raise tools. Now, if you've got a harvester or a planter or anything else that you've got running on Courseplay, a lot of times they're going to leave a place right there at the end of the field or at the end of his row that didn't get, they lifted the tool and it didn't finish harvesting the end right there. All right, that's the reason I put on raised tools, raise them late. I would rather have that tool raised late and make sure he gets all the crop off of that row at the ends of the fields rather than leaving some. And then to make sure that whenever he turns and starts a new row, he lowers his tool early. So to me, these are very important right here. Raise tools late and lower tools early. Again, that's me. If you can deal with them leaving, a little bit of crop once in a while on the end of the rows, that's entirely up to you. And, that's good. All right. Tool offset. I don't have an offset on my tools. I want to take the whole row. I don't need, I don't need to offset it any. So I have 0. Combine settings. Automatic cutter attach. I've got that deactivated because I'll attach the cutter if I want to. You know, I don't need it doing it automatically. Stop while unloading. I've got that deactivated. Now, what does that mean? That means, and you've seen me do it several times, I will run up alongside a harvester, he puts his pipe out, and he unloads into the grain cart. If you have this set, if you have this activated, whenever you pull up alongside him, he's just going to stop until he unloads. Now, you may want that to happen. You know, again, that's why there's all these settings. But my settings, I have it deactivated because I want him to continue harvesting while I'm unloading him. All right, combine self-unload, no. If you have this activated, that means whenever he gets loaded, he's going to go looking for some place to unload. He's going to leave the field. He's going to go somewhere on the edges of the field, wherever he can find a truck, a grain cart, or whatever, and he's going to be looking for a place to unload. That's combine self-unload. I've got that deactivated. I don't need him to look for a place to unload. That's my responsibility, is to keep him unloaded. All right. Unload on the first headland. Again, I have it deactivated. You may want to activate it. And it's entirely up to you. But I don't necessarily, on these big fields that I do, commercial fields, we don't do headlands. But if you do, you may want to consider whether you unload that on the first headland pass or not. That's up to you. Straw swap. Here's a good one. I've got it deactivated. Now, you've seen me do videos where I put down a straw swap so that I can collect the straw. Whenever I do that, then I activate this, and it will leave a row of straw that can be picked up either by a baler or a loading wagon or whatever. However, most of the time I'm using my chopped straw mod, which gives me my first 50% fertilizer state. And the only way you're going to get that, and that's if you deactivate this and let it spread that straw on the field. Okay? Excuse me, I'm sorry. I'm still trying to get over a cold. All right, so that's deactivated. Again, just my settings. If you want to leave the swath to pick up later, then by all means activate that. Multi-tool settings. I keep that deactivated because I don't need them changing lanes out there. I've got 5 harvesters running, and I don't need them changing lanes, you know, symmetrically. No, I need them to stay in their lane and do their thing, you know. So I deactivate this. Convoy distance. This is another big one. Convoy distance. I keep that set at 249 feet. This is something that you can play around with. If you set yours at 249 feet and you still have problems with the harvesters running into one another and they can't get turned around correctly, then you may want to increase that a little bit. That you have to kind of play with. But 249 feet seems to work for me. And what that means is the harvester, if you're running multiple harvesters in a convoy like we do, they're supposed to stop within 249 feet of the next harvester. That harvester may be shut down for some reason. It may have fell off in a sinkhole like we had yesterday. Okay? This means he's going to stay away from that harvester 249 feet. And they should all maintain that distance should something happen in front of them. So That's what I keep mine at. Field work. Here's some more ones that you need to pay attention to. Field work. This is actually, and it speaks for itself, the speed at which you want your harvesters to run, providing they'll run this speed. This is how fast you want them to run inside the field, doing the actual work. Okay? This is how, this down here, the field, is, this is just the maximum speed that you want them to run while they're just running on the field, not working. They're transporting or whatever. This is how fast you want them to run, not working. Turn, 5 miles an hour in the turns. Now this is kind of important. If you have them turning too fast, a lot of times the back of your harvesters, because all the weight's on the front, a lot of times the back of your harvester will spin around, and you know, you just got to kind of use your best judgment. But I have mine set at 5 miles an hour. Reverse, it kind of speaks for itself. How fast do I want them backing up? Well, I don't want them backing up way too fast, you know. So I have mine set at 3.1 mile per hour. Silo, if you're running Courseplay and you're having something delivered to a silo by Courseplay, this is whenever they enter the silo, you know, or wherever they're going to pull over the grate or whatever, they'll slow down to 9.3 miles an hour. All right, bug settings, you don't ever have to worry about that. Just deactivate it. Just make sure it's deactivated. All right, well, again, like I said, we're going to keep this fairly short, and we're not going to harvest anything in this video. This has just been like a tutorial. I hope that this has helped you in some way, form, or fashion. If you know somebody that is struggling with Courseplay settings and that, feel free to share it. Feel free, because we all have to learn. And I also want to emphasize on the fact that the settings and everything that you just saw are my settings. And if you've been following me and you watch me run multiple harvesters and everything, you know that they work for me. So with that being said, as the dirt road farmer, I think we're going to call this a video. And as always, thank you very, very much for watching.